Ciao, ciao. कैसे हो सब लोग? We are live and we are back with a live stream after a while. Obviously, while content has been dropping, live stream किए बहुत time हो गया. So obviously, as always, we'll be discussing a lot of things happening in the world of Calcio, from Inter Scudetto to the top four race to the relegation battle to कौन नया FIGC का president बनेगा, ये वो and थोड़ी चीजें और. But before all that, how are you doing, Ajay? How is everything going?
All good, all good. In fact, Param, सबसे पहले congratulations on winning
Thanks.
the Scudetto. I'm sure you're over the moon, and you can also thank me, the only panelist who actually put Inter to be champions of Italy.
Yeah,
Uh,
that is
I'm, I'm, I'm not bragging. I'm not
yeah.
bragging. This is it was calculated, and I told my reasons back then. I still believe that जो इंटर का कोर था बहुत ही strong था, and Ajay Bhai FC with yet another prediction that has come out correctly. And in this case, it was a long shot. Like, I don't think so. Even the most optimistic Inter fan, especially after the first 5 games, would have thought कि तुम लोग उसको दे तो जीतोगे, but here we are celebrating a much, I would say, a much deserved Scudetto. Whatever people say, I think end of the day you need to win games, and that's what Inter have done. And I think many congratulations to Interisti around the world. But Param, I actually want to start off with something which is non-calcio. Two
Hmm.
things are happening. One, obviously, you have the Champions League final that is set between Arsenal versus PSG.
Yeah,
And secondly, what the hell is happening at Real Madrid? क्या चल क्या रहा है वहाँ पे?
yeah. Obviously, we've been hearing the news of a lot of, I guess, essentially factions being formed from players being against Arbeloa, players being against each other. Like, obviously, we're seeing Chouameni versus Valverde, and apparently Chouameni sent Valverde to the hospital, which has been pretty much confirmed, which is crazy because
Wow.
at big clubs these things can happen, like Real Madrid especially. It's not the first time this has happened. It's happened before. And when you're part of such a big club, that maintaining that locker room is quite a difficult thing. And unfortunately, I mean, for Real Madrid fans, you can see that it shows in the season. And honestly, obviously, I'm waiting for more news to come as to more details, so that's why I'm not commenting much on it, because of, but we know the top, like the part of it, like player bust up, players don't even respect Arbeloa, and obviously Kylian Mbappe doing his own thing. So तो yeah, मतलब क्या ही बोल सकते हैं. And obviously PSG Arsenal, I think it's fair to say आर्सेनल तो मतलब वो लोग ने तो चैंपियंस लीग में वो लोग एक गेम भी नहीं हारे थे, तो डिजर्वेडली इन द यूसीएल फाइनल. I personally obviously wanted to see Atletico Madrid for Cholo, but then he did best what he could with this squad.
Yeah.
Um, PSG Bayern, obviously refereeing error से भरा था वो मैच yesterday also, even in the first leg. So जो गेम की क्वालिटी थी वो लोगों को बोलना अच्छी थी, बट आई फील बोथ लेग्स वर ruined by refereeing errors. I mean, Joao Neves ka handball is actually by law not a handball, but the referee was supposed to give a free kick for that, which he did. He just let the play continue. And जो Nuno Mendes का handball था, it is a handball and he should have been sent off because he was already. So the ref made an error because he thought Conrad Limer उसके पहले उसके हाथ पे लगा, but it hit his belly, it never hit his arm. So the play, he stopped play because of that. So that should have never happened. Nuno Mendes का handball था, and Nuno Mendes by law should have been sent off, which would have meant PSG would have been down to 10 men for more than 60 minutes, and we would have gotten a completely different game here. Like, so unfortunately, the semi-final for me got ruined by these major errors. But kudos to PSG fans. I mean, at the end of the day, we know that they are a great side. I don't want to take anything away from them. Kvaratskhelia, I think I saw your reel as well. He's fantastic. Like, he's been crazy good ever since joining PSG, and kudos to him. He left at the right time. He left at the right time because उस टाइम पे ओसीमैन का सिचुएशन उसने देखा नापोली में और उसने छोड़ा. And yeah, Willian
भाई
Pacho
तू
was fantastic. हाँ.
जो तूने मेरा ट्वीट देखा उसमें एक बंदे ने हु इज ही करके उसने कमेंट किया था, हु इज परत के लिए तो मैं उसमें वही बोला कि आई डोंट ब्लेम हिम, इट्स जस्ट द
Yeah.
पीआर ऑफ सेrie A is just so absolutely awful. And उस वक्त Napoli were not playing in the Champions League, if you remember, Param. It was like they were domestically, I would say, one of the reasons why they won the Scudetto is because they did not have that
Yeah.
pressure of 3 games a week or whatever. But my point
Yeah.
is that how does a fan otherwise watch Serie A? तो उसका
Yeah,
पीआर
exactly.
ही नहीं
That
है, तो भी फर्ज के लिए अपन देखते हैं, अपने को पता है कि
one.
वो क्या कर रहा था
Yeah.
उस टाइम पे, बट
One
दुनिया को
one fun one fun fact: his younger brother Tornike Kvaratskhelia is currently being heavily scouted by Bayern, but in his slightly even more further younger days, he was actually a part of Inter's academy in Georgia. So he used to play for the Inter academy in Georgia. Kvaratskhelia younger brother. So you never know. Matlab, I'm hoping his brother becomes some a good player and maybe remembers that he trained with Inter and comes here, something like that. But all that aside, I mean, nice to have you. चुन चुन के लूंगा आपके comments लाते रहो. Of course, थोड़ा late stream हो गया आज. So if you guys can comment, get in your thoughts. Definitely, we'll be doing a general Serie A preview. But just coming back to the Scudetto talk, I mean, आई थिंक ऑब्वियसली जैसे आपने पहले राइटली बोला, जो पहले फर्स्ट 5 गेम वीक्स थे उसके बाद में चीजें डाउट में थी बिकॉज वी लॉस्ट 2 आउट ऑफ 2 गेम्स, तो वी लॉस्ट एंड दिस थिंग 1 गेम वी ड्रॉप्ड अ पॉइंट. उसके बाद तो लगा नहीं, ऐसा ही क्लियरली लगा था कि बी अ फुल ट्रांजिशन सीजन, विच इट वाज टू बी फेयर. बट आई मीन ऑब्वियसली यू कैन ऑलवेज से दूसरों ने पॉइंट्स ड्रॉप किया बिकॉज, बट दैट इज नॉर्मल इन एनी सीजन, एवरीबडी ड्रॉप्स
Yeah,
पॉइंट्स.
yeah, yeah,
It's a very exceptional case where teams rarely drop points or do what Juventus did under Conte, and obviously have to be that good. So I mean, they go. Everybody stumbled along the way, and obviously it's not been the greatest season for Italian football that way. But when your team wins the league title, आप वो सब चीजों के बारे में नहीं सोचते हो, because at the end of the day you celebrate your club. Like, look, even if I was an Azzurri fan, I would have obviously talked about how bad a season it has been for Italian football. But honestly, जब आपका team league जीतता है, कोई trophy जीतता है for that matter, club, it stays. I mean, you have to make that your priority at that time. And obviously, look, it's important. आप जानते हो जब it's the 21st Scudetto. It's Kivu's first Scudetto as a coach in his first full season. You know, now he's won the Scudetto as a coach, senior team coach, youth team coach, and there is room to grow. जैसे मैंने अपने शॉर्ट में भी बोला, there is a lot of room to grow. ऐसा नहीं है कि एकदम से इंटर परफेक्ट है. देयर इज गोइंग टू बी अ रीबिल्ड दिस समर, बट आई फील Kivu ने जो फैंटास्टिक चीज की, वेरी ब्रीफली पुटिंग इट आउट देयर, ही मेंटली अपलिफ्टेड दिस टीम बिग टाइम. मेंटली लाइक बिग टाइम, व्हिच वाज इन शैम्बल्स. लाइक मुझे याद है क्लब वर्ल्ड कप से वो फाइनल, तो मैं उस पर ज्यादा बात नहीं करूंगा, सिमोने इंजागी ये वो. But after that Club World Cup, I remember knockout Lautaro with to the microphone saying, "Whoever wants to leave can leave. We need the club to be serious." And then Marotta, I remember, referred to Hakan like after Lautaro's interview in the same frame, and pura tatters में then Lautaro Hakan का beef. Hakan put up a story. Then Kivu told them, "You sort it out." आज कल ही news आया वो कि Kivu told them, "You sort it out amongst yourselves." So he handled that very well. And ever since then the group was properly united because they were reminded कि भाई हम लोग का बैंड बज गया है, कोच ने भी छोड़ दिया, and here is this guy trying doing everything to unite us, so let's do it for him. And he's doing everything, so I'm glad that way the team stepped up. Sure, some players like Barella woke up abhi in this last patch, which is okay, which happens, you know, at times good players also have bad seasons. Did I want Inter to do well in the better in the Champions League? Absolutely. Matlab, playoffs is not that spot where you get knocked out, but ठीक है चलो, shit happens, you move on, next season पे better करना होगा. Winning the league, and I want the double. I'll be very honest. I need Inter to win the Coppa Italia also. With all due respect to Lazio, like it is
why?
you're
There's no need to respect them.
we are the favorites going into the final. That doesn't mean like we'll win it because Lazio have been good in the Coppa. But yeah, we on again like going into everything. I feel we have there is an obligation to get a double this season. So yeah, all that. I mean, I'm very happy with the season. Otherwise, as this again, I went in with the expectation of it being a transition season, and that pretty much for the most part was fulfilled. Now, again, we'll do a deep dive later when we do our season review. But मेरा simple hope अभी आगे जाके आ जाएगा ये कि Oaktree like they back this guy. Like, I mean, I know you know how hedge funds work. You know this.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
going to be a pain. Like, you know it. जो भी बोल रहे इंटर को ये चाहिए, इंटर को वो चाहिए, वो होगा कि नहीं पता नहीं. Like, I don't know if it happen. Because Oaktree खुद, let me remind people, they are not putting their own money. वो लोग इंटर का पैसा डाल रहे सीधा इसमें. Like, they're not pumping in money as owners, which any owner should be. But ये Americans ये लोग नहीं डाल रहे खुद का पैसा. So it's going to be like they'll allow a budget of maybe 40-50 million plus whatever sales you make, which is very less. Like 50 million और सपने हैं निको पास के, मतलब आज सोचो मतलब 50 million के 60 million तो निको पास में ही चला जाएगा, which makes no sense. So yeah, I mean it's okay. I mean, well, let's see what happens come summer, but let's move on to further things. क्या बोलते हो?
Yeah, to be honest, the Scudetto race though is wrapped up, but ये जो Champions League का जो अभी एक रेस ओपन अप हुआ है ड्यू टू मिलान kind of in a decline. UA not being consistent. Napoli, though, I think are qualified. Like irrespective, I think they will make it to the Champions League. But Milan, Juve, Roma, and Como, like it's between these four teams to get the remainder two spots. I feel obviously Inter to hey, then you. I feel that Napoli will finish second. थोड़ा उनका फिक्सचर्स भी थोड़ा इजी है द रन इन में एंड अब कैसा है कि उनके सारे प्लेयर्स वापस इंजरी से आ गए परम डेब्रॉयना आ गया है मतलब ऑलमोस्ट फुल स्ट्रेंथ हो गया अपार्ट फ्रॉम लुकाकू I think they have all their other players, so I think Conte will get the job done and get them into the Champions League. But ये बाकी के जो दो places है उसके लिए अभी कट्टर competition है and it's going to be a lot of fun because each club has got like a set of unique challenges and we'll obviously will go on to that. But you know, just a quick preview to it. Like Milan have not won their previous 5 games. Like it's been sorry they won 1 game and they've lost or drawn 4, but they only scored 1 goal actually in that last 5 games. So, and you were dropping points, so Hellas Verona was very surprising. Already relegated Hellas Verona. So, यार, ये जो एक battle है, I think last 3 game weeks में मजा आने वाला है.
Fair. Obviously, I agree with you. I mean, जैसे आपने बोला briefly before I show the fixtures and we start talking about it. यार मतलब जैसे चिंतन भाई के रील में था ना, nobody does anybody really want the top 4 at this point? Like, as you said, for me the most shocking one was UA dropping points to Hellas. Like, UA, that's an already relegated team. Like, how? And Hellas, ठीक है, they last Montipo made 3 saves from point blank range. Kudos to him. Last is defending अच्छी थी, but UA very wasteful. Jonathan David got booed from the pitch. You know, Robbie is here. Robbie, of course, he's celebrating that Inter title win. So आ जाओ मुंबई आ जाओ, सबको देता हूँ. अजय भाई, चिंतन भाई सबको देने ही वाला हो, तो आ जाओ. अभी मैं उधर आता हूँ, मैं कोलकाता आके दे देता हूँ. बट नहीं, all that aside, look, very weird. Like, the thing is, Ajay bhai, kaisa hai na, before we just start predicting, this was the chance for, like, Roma, your club capitalized the most on it, because I know you're used to seeing heartbreaks from Roma and you're not optimistic right now, but Roma have really caused chaos. Like, right now, Spalletti must be doubting himself कि भाई मैं हमेशा बड़े क्लब्स के साथ क्वालिफाई करता हूँ चैंपियंस लीग में. Now it's up in the air. His attack is not firing at all. Milan have been terrible. Robbie, obviously, you can keep talking about it like in the comments, but they've been awful in these games. Like, you watch them and you're like, what happened to that unbeaten run?
I watched the entire 90 minutes of Sassuolo Milan and my God, what a flat performance from you know, Max Allegri and his boys. Like and Sassuolo were so comfortable. Like they changed gears, scored a goal, and then they just kept control of the ball. And there was no reaction from Allegri. It looked like Milan have scored a goal and Sassuolo are chasing. Ulta tha. And Sassuolo, you know, to be fair, obviously they are a good team under Fabio Grosso, but they made it look too easy.
Yeah. So look, kudos to, because we know Sassuolo is a very well-run club, so obviously they deserve all the credit in that sense. But yeah, I agree with you. Like, मतलब क्या ही बोले. And yeah, let's get to the predictions. आज short stream रखेंगे थोड़ा, obviously, because late हो गया है. That's also there. We're trying to kind of resume our streams on Thursdays.
करते करते अपन गेम वीक 35 पहुंच गए भाई. 36 पहुंच गए, सॉरी.
36, yeah. Serie A season finally खत्म होगा. Obviously, a lot to come on the horizon. I'm just pulling up the schedule for predictions, but a lot to come on the horizon from the post-season review to the Italian football ka situation. What is next? We'll make a proper video on that.
Also, World Cup sans Italy, but we'll be there.
Italy नहीं होगी, but हम लोग तो obviously World Cup के बारे में बात करेंगे. Yeah, we have an esteemed guest in the chat, Ajay bhai. We have Vladimir Putin himself.
भाई इस वक्त तो even I support Big Vlad because I don't want Lazio to win the Copa. So, you know, glory to Mother Russia.
Thank you to you for joining us from all the way from Russia. यार मतलब war खत्म कर दो. War की जरूरत नहीं है इस दुनिया में. You can live peacefully. But ये क्या हो रहा है मतलब? पुटिन, किम जोंग उन, इन्फेंटिनो, ये सब इंटर फैंस है. क्या हो रहा है मतलब? किसने ये नेक्सस चालू किया है भाई? मतलब हाँ, चलो लेट्स. रॉबी तू है, आई नो यू वॉच सेरी A. प्लीज गिव योर प्रेडिक्शंस. We are starting with actually a very underrated game in that sense, even though there is nothing to play for Ajay bhai here. But this is a very underrated game. Cases how both the teams are playing currently, Torino versus Sassuolo. I'll go for a Sassuolo win here. I think they're quite solid and sorted out overall. And honestly, they are chasing that 8th place. अजय भाई मेरे को लग रहा है ये लोग ले लेगा 8th place. And no, why 8th place? अगर Atalanta drop किया, why not dream of 7th? I mean, what do you think?
I think, यार, I'll go for a draw in this one. मेरे को लग रहा है कि
Fair.
Torino will show some courage, and I want Torino to actually show some courage because of
Fair.
the fixture they play in their last game of the season. It is a Derby del Mole, so I want them to get some momentum before they reach game week 38. So I'll go for a 1-1 draw in this.
Fair, fair. Robbie also says 2-1 to Sassuolo.
Atlanta
Ritam
matches
is
new season. Ritam in the house.
Yeah, Ritam, nice to know. Nice to have you. Yeah, like brief thought though. To give your thoughts, Ritam. Like, what do you think of the season? Because obviously, I'm pretty
Obviously,
sure you're frustrated.
obviously we should have a, like, we will have it Parav अपन एक post Serie A season
Yeah,
review करेंगे जहाँ पे we'll get Ritam, Anubhuti, everybody.
yeah,
But yes, like you mentioned, Ritam, in the comments तेरे क्या विचार है अब, just 3 game weeks to go, how are you feeling?
yeah. And literally, Atalanta. It's like, yeah, sure, they're in that spot for Conference League, but honestly, a very disappointing season. So you let us know what your thoughts are. Robbie says, "What is dictator Param cooking?" But yeah, I think Sassuolo win here. Cagliari Udinese, again. Cagliari is not entirely safe, but so there is something to play for. Again, I would just want to give credit to Udinese because it's such a difficult team to play. Like, kudos to
It's a
them. But yeah, they had a
difficult
crazy
team to
3-3 draw with
predict.
Lazio.
How can you
Yeah,
put
it's
money
a
on Udinese यार? पैसा तो तू उसके इनका
yeah, yeah.
prediction निकाल दे.
I
देख वो
I
जाना
need
पे
to.
जाना उसका past results पे जाना Udinese का. It is so funny.
या मिलान को हराया, कोमो को होल्ड किया, पार्मा से हार गए, लाजियो को ड्रॉ किया और टोरिनो को हरा दिया. द फनीएस्ट टीम इन द लीग. इट्स द बट दे
सोच
लुक
रहा
अगेन.
है.
They can say we have our own stadium. And
हाँ यार.
they're one of the most well run clubs, to be fair. All the jokes aside, I really hope to see the old Udinese at some point, like thoda doing better than the mid table fight. But what do you think? I think this will be like a scoring draw.
I think I'll go for a Cagliari home win. I think even
Yeah,
Cagliari at home difficult to beat.
very.
Udinese का यार, like, मतलब मैं उनको देखा, I think from this game week they'll be like, चलो season end करो, हमको holiday पे जाना है.
Yeah, fair. I mean, yeah, definitely that's possible. Next up, Robbie also says Robbie to goes for a 0-0, not even scoring. Next up, this is funny because obviously I want a proper full-fledged. So for those who know, Lazio Inter back to back, who don't know, sorry, Lazio Inter back to back खेलेंगे पहले लीग में और फिर कोपा इटालिया फाइनल उसके बाद मिड वीक. मेरे को पूरा रोटेशन चाहिए. आई डोंट केयर, यू प्ले द बेंच, यू प्ले द किड्स. थर्ड चॉइस गोलकीपर जो है ना हमारा राफेल डी जेनेरो इज नॉट प्लेड अ सिंगल मिनट, अजय भाई. एंड सो टू मेक हिम एलिजिबल फॉर द मिडल, ऑल ही हैज टू डू इज प्ले 1 minute. You play him the full 90. I don't care. This game has nothing. And funnily enough, this also reminded me, Ajay, just to go off a tangent for a second. You remember, obviously Benjamin Pavard is loaned out to Marseille, but he played the first game of the season against Torino and we thrashed them 5-0. Full 90 he played. So he's a Scudetto winner, by the way, Benjamin Pavard.
Wow.
So fun fact. I just
Wow.
But yeah, I want full rotation. I don't want to see Petar Sucic. I don't want to see Zielinski. No Barella, no Thuram. Okay, look, I understand why Lautaro is expected to start because of just injuries. Even Bastoni. So those two starting, I understand. I want to see Di Gennaro in goal. I want to see the Primavera players. I want to see Fratesi start, Diouf start, Luis Enrique start. I don't care because थोड़े injuries भी है. तो Coppa Italia final मेरे को जीतना है. And obviously, Ajay bhai, you know that fun fact about this game, the ultras. You want to talk about this? How both the ultras are going to
वो तू ही बोल, तेरा solidarity है यार. इन लोग बाहर,
मेरे को पसंद नहीं है वो, पर क्या ही कर सकते हैं because ये लोग हमारा स्किन बचाते हैं टाइटल रेस में. अब क्या ही बोलूं. बढ़िया, इफ यू डोंट नो कि ये मैच के लिए जो लाजियो का बॉयकॉट कंटिन्यू होने वाला है, तो इंटर अल्ट्रास आर गोइंग टू शो देम सपोर्ट एंड बॉयकॉट द मैच एज वेल. But both fans will be there for the Coppa Italia final. But what are your predictions, Ajay bhai?
I think I'll go for a draw in this one.
Yeah, I think loss or a draw for Inter because again we'll be in celebratory mood. We'll also try to get these minutes before the Coppa Italia final, thoda like kind of that warm up spirit. So maybe a draw, maybe a draw. But I want to see the kids play. I don't want to see any of the senior players start in this. Let's say Ajay, this is an interesting game.
Very
Because
interesting.
तू भी बता because इसमें एक चीज है कि लेचे अभी तक safe नहीं है. Lecce got that big win against Pisa Ajay, and that's why they're 2 points clear of Cremonese, if I'm not wrong. 2 points. Yeah, it is 4 points. Oh fuck. I hate EDF, but whatever. Point is they're
but
4 points.
it's not done mathematically. They're not safe.
No, no, it's not done. But Cremonese were beating Lazio and they ended up dropping points. So that's a big, like, I mean, it's not done, but it's a long shot for Cremonese. And अजय भाई क्रेजी यार, ये लोग 8 पे बैठे थे, 10 प्लेस गिर गए नीचे ये लोग यार. मतलब जेमी वार्डी इज ऑन द वर्ज ऑफ रेलिगेशन. सो या,
Again,
बट अगेन लुक. हाँ, बोलो ना.
again, I'm saying. Jamie
Yeah,
Vardy.
again. Yeah, Hashim is also in the chat. Hashim, nice to have you. आपके predictions देते जो हम लोग predictions कर रहे हैं, छोटा stream है. But अजय भाई, UA's attack is not firing. Lecce is fighting and clawing for that to survive. क्या लगता है यार, ये tricky है मतलब.
It is tricky, but I have the same trust issues with Di Francesco.
Yeah, of course
मेरे
he
को-
can't get games over the line.
Somehow I go back to that Venezia game where he was a coach of Venezia last year, final day of the season. And for all purposes, it looked like Venezia were fighting. At least would get a draw.
हाँ.
But ended up, losing to them. And I think ये repeat होने वाला. I think Lecce will put up a fight, but UA will find a narrow, slender. कोई कचरा गोल मारेगा या कोई पेनल्टी मिलेगा, लॉकेटेली मारेगा या और कोई मारेगा लॉकेटेली को. I think penalty duty से निकालने वाला है. But I think
Yeah.
UA will get a 2-1 narrow win. I feel Lecce are not good enough here.
हाँ मतलब I agree, because Spalletti को वो knack है कि end में वो results निकालने की. He's done it with Inter and other clubs in the Champions League qualification process. I think UA win. क्या बोलता है रॉबी, क्या बोलते हो बाकी लोग. अभिजय is also in the chat. अभिजय यार predictions दे तू. Madrid का हमने just briefly बात किया starting में, but let us know of the predictions for the games as well. I think UA will win. I think UA will win this. Hellas Como. This is like अभिजय क्या timing पे है मतलब. तेरा फेवरेट सेरिया टीम वर्सेस द कोच यू प्रोबेबली वांट एट आर्सेनल. क्या बोलते हो अजय भाई? हेल्लास कोमो. आई मीन अगेन कोमो. I think, you know what, Ajay bhai, one of the beneficiaries from that last game week was Como, because I know they're not that close to UCL spot, but they can look and say, अरे बाकी लोग ने drop किया points, and their last 3 games, okay, Como, they're all winnable. They're all winnable.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if I just show you quickly, like it's Hellas, ठीक है, Parma is tough, okay, Parma is tough, but again there is Parma, Hellas, nothing to play for. Maybe Hellas just tried kill, and Cremonese, if they don't get relegated by then, nothing to by then yeah, that's the only tough game. क्या बोलते हो आप? मेरे को तो ये कोमो को want to keep an eye on in this European race.
100%. Yesterday I recorded a podcast with Adidev, जो अपना आदिदेव गुरु ज्ञान जो करता है. I know him since 2018, 2017, 2018. We spoke in depth about Como and whatever Como does. मेरे को अभी just याद आ रहा है. But for the amazing work that Hellas Verona did against UA, I just feel that Como would be a little more difficult, because I think Como know how to find those clutch goals. और उनका defense is the best in in Italy right now. So I
just want to say one thing about why their defense is the best. So people would look at that backline and say, who's like the standout defender? Look, there is no standout defender in the defensive phase. It's the pressing, Ajay bhai. If you notice also in the matches, the way they press, proper controlled aggression. That is why they have these good defensive metrics, because they really choke you out. Like if you really notice, even against you, even against us, that's the reason they are the best defense. It's not because they have a top quality center back that way in the defensive old school sense. They have technically good center backs or defenders, full backs. Goalkeeper also, Bute is a decent keeper. He's not like a great keeper that.
Decent.
So their pressing is really what basically benefits them. But yeah, we have Samunli in the chat as well. He says Lecce 1-1 UA. Hashim says 2-1 to UA. Abhijay says Como 4-0 because I have my eyes on Nico Paz. Hashim says 3-1. देख Nico Paz के लिए हम लोग भी try करने वाले, but हाँ.
भाई Nico Paz Hellas Verona क्यों आएगा? तू बता मुझे.
But you have gone for a Como win, right?
Yeah, I'm going for a Como win.
Same. क्या बोलते हो आप लोग भी comments में बताओ. Cremonese Pisa. I mean again, Pisa have nothing to play for, but Cremonese के लिए बहुत important है. ये नहीं जीते तो इनका relegation confirmed है मेरे लिए.
Confirmed.
And again, Ajay,
Confirmed.
things can turn, as you said, things can turn if they beat Pisa and Juve win. Again, we are down to a gap of 1 point between the two
Yeah,
teams.
yeah, 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 yeah.
क्या बोलते हो? क्या बोलते हो?
Oof, difficult one to call, but I think it's going to be a draw, like a nil-nil draw in this,
I'll give
because
it to Cremonese. I'll give it to Cremonese. Yeah. I'll give it to Cremonese. RS is also in the house. Let me know आपके thoughts, predictions. Abhijay says Guala coming from Serie A B. तेरा Venezia promote हो गया. Yeah, Venezia is promoted. I'll show you the table. पहले ना एक काम करते हैं, अभी just hang around, ये predictions खत्म कर देते हैं, मैं तेरे को Serie B का table दिखाता है quickly. Fiorentina Genoa, again nothing to play for. De Rossi अच्छे स्टाइल में उसने कंफर्म कर दिया. Fiorentina मार खा गई रोमा से अजय भाई, but again like Fiorentina are also finally safe. They broke that hoodoo that जो उनका points का जो था जब starting में no one had ever mathematically stayed after that. Fiorentina have broken that record, I guess. But
yeah,
क्या बोलते हैं? I think this will be like a drab draw, like nothing to play for. मतलब मेरे को तो
yeah,
नील
I
भी
think
सब.
I think Genoa win निकालेगी. I feel that they'll take an away win in this,
Oh, oh,
because
oh.
I feel कि Fiorentina, from what I saw, they just want a season to get, like, the players just want to get over with it, like खत्म करो बस, हो गया सीजन, हम लोग सेफ हो गए, कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग से नॉकआउट हो गया, अब खेलने नहीं वाले अगले सीजन कॉन्फ्रेंस लीग में, जो एक रेलीगेशन का साया था वो मिट गया, बस अभी लेट अस just go and enjoy our summer vacation before the Henta virus kicks in. I think that is what the Fiorentina players are
वो तो
thinking.
अलग ही है. या
Uh,
Moise Kean's future is up in the air. Fiorentina
True.
का lot of things to be assessed because of the way the
So,
season went.
which is why I feel Genoa will win, because you will see a very different Genoa, because now they're safe from relegation. I think they will unleash themselves. It'll be entertaining, because the way that De Rossi would play with this Genoa team, I think they will attack well, but they'll leave holes behind in the defense as well. So, मेरे हिसाब से अच्छा एक गेम रहेगा ये. But I think Genoa will come out as winners in this.
Yeah, I mean Fiorentina भी coaches line up कर रही है किसको hire करे. They're seeing names like Grosso and all I will say is if Grosso is smart, if I was Grosso rather, I would stay at Sassuolo because it's a much
100%.
more stable and smarter club with all due respect. And honestly, if you ask me in present day, who has the chance to qualify for a European place, even if it's the conference, I would say Sassuolo or Fiorentina any day.
Yeah, yeah.
As much as all of us sit here and troll Sassuolo and dislike them for beating our clubs, the reality is that's because they're good at Jeba, because they are the ones that keep this Italian factory going basically. And James Horncastle ने New York Times के लिए एक मस्त पीस लिखा है Sassuolo पे अभी just एक दिन पहले. He visited Mape Stadium, he visited Sassuolo and
Yeah, yeah.
he interviewed people. So go read it if you
Yeah.
can. Must piece एकदम. And honestly, it's about time Sassuolo get that respect. Parma Roma, I think Abhijay, if you remember, this is that game where you can say that Ajay Menon, the person who said Cuesta will be the first coach to get sacked, and now here is Cuesta having who's had a good season. But क्या बोलते हो अजय भाई? मेरे को लग रहा है ये मतलब this is not easy यार. Like this is a tough game for you all.
Not easy, yeah. Not easy. I think very, very credit to Cuesta. He's really made Parma a solid unit. Very difficult to break them through. Matlab, I really thought he would be a typical Spanish manager who
Yeah,
is very,
yeah.
very bullish, very stubborn with his ideas. कि नहीं भाई हम टिकी टाका खेलेंगे, हम ball possession रखेंगे. Whoever the opponent is, will not adapt the style. I think that has like Cuesta himself has kind of like shattered a lot of illusions in that aspect. And credit to him, he's made this Parma team a bit difficult to beat. उनके थोड़े injuries हुए बीच में परम. Otherwise, they were in that, they could have been
Lot of
sucked into
injuries.
the
Yeah.
and there was a real threat कि they would have been sucked into that relegation battle. But I think जो Cuesta का जो एक foundation है काफी strong रहा है, जिसके कारण teams have found it difficult to like find a way through their defense. So I think difficult रहेगा रोमा के लिए. It's always like very tough to go to the Tardini and get results, but historically Tardini has proven to be quite a lucky hunting ground for Roma. Like Roma do like playing Parma both home and away, and I think जो अभी recent momentum build up हुआ है, there is a sense of positivity within the team, and there is a sense कि slight chance to make it to the UCL, but it's not in our hands per se. But the least that we can do is try to win each of the last 3 games, and it starts from this weekend. So I think Gasperini will have the boys fired up, especially after Ranieri's departure. It's a very obvious shift. Param, last two game may, you can see the Roma players also fired up to kind of like, give their best. So it's going to be a tough game, but I think a 2-1 away win for Roma is what I'm going for.
Just quickly, just going back to what the comment said. Serie A का तो मैं बोलता हूँ. Ramunli said I think Milan will drop more points. Abhijay said that Gasperini and Ranieri and Masara inspired the Real Madrid fight. Genoa under DDR is what Hashim likes, which is a good shout, Hashim, because they Genoa unfortunately resources की कमी पड़ जाती है as a club. But again, it's a good club to be at, and I'm sure he'll get all the love which already he is. Cuesta trained under Cholo for a reason. I mean, he's also has that Arteta imprint. So I mean, that's very evident in his game. What honestly, उस दिन अभिजय ने मेरे को WhatsApp पे पूछा था, which teams do you think if you had to tell a neutral you would enjoy watching? Obviously, only a few. So obviously, I would put Inter and Como first. I mean, not in any order. Inter, Como. I would put Parma. I would definitely put Parma because of it's not your typical approach. जैसे आपने बोला, it's a very enjoyable way to watch. Like they play very solid and they have good talent. ऐसा नहीं कि just average players. They have Mandela Keita, very good
Yeah.
defensive midfielder. Pellegrino है, Cercati है, अपना Del Prato है. Andre, all these are good talent. It's just that they don't mix it up. That Strefezza is. I love watching Strefezza. I don't know why he's proper Champions League level player. I am shocked he left Olympiacos and he came here. He was at Como by the way. He should. मेरे को तो लगा Como भी क्यों छोड़ा ये बंदा. He's Brazilian Italian. So like I mean he has that Brazilian in him. And he good at Sassuolo, of course. Sassuolo has to be there. Like again, these teams I would recommend. And obviously, apart from that, you have to maybe make a case for Roma, Napoli in terms of the brand. But again, I would say consistency wise, in terms of their identity, these are the teams. But yeah, Parma are very tough to beat. I would go for I think a draw. Yeah. I think a draw. आप लोग भी बताओ comments में. Milan, Atalanta. This is like both teams come in such horrible form. अजय भाई, like मेरे को तो शब्द ही नहीं है इस गेम के बारे में बोलने को. Like look at this, look at this. What the hell?
Wow.
Just one win.
Yeah, that one goal was scored by against Hellas Verona by
My God, like what is this form, guys? Like आप लोग भी बताओ क्या ये तो मेरे को नील लग रहा है पक्का. Like मेरे को ये पूरा नील लग रहा है इसमें. I know Milan have a good. I know Milan.
नहीं. I think goals आएगा इसमें.
I don't know यार. I know Milan have Atalanta's number of late, but यार ये बहुत ही गंदा फॉर्म है दोनों का. Like I don't know.
What's the recent head-to-head like between Milan and Atalanta?
I think it's more leaning towards. I'll just show it quickly. Draw Atalanta. Okay. Draw. Yeah, correct. Draw Atalanta.
I told you.
No, Milan recently had 1 year. Yeah, correct. But it's been all Milan all the way back in 2023. Wow, including all competitions. That is.
मैं वही बोला. Because 2023 से even when Roma last beat Atalanta when Jose Mourinho was in charge, उसके बाद में Atalanta have had our number and Milan's number, both.
Yeah. Wow. So I mean, but I still feel I don't know. I feel still it's a draw. I'm going by that.
No, I'm going to go for a controversial take here. I think Atalanta will beat Milan. मेरे को लग रहा है 1-0 maybe. I think निकालेगी यार because Milan don't, especially if the Milan that I saw against Sassuolo. My God, if that Milan shows up, Atalanta are winning for sure. Allegri को
मैं जो Atalanta को देख रहा हूँ, but that's the funny thing. The Atalanta, I would say like what I saw against Genoa, even against Cagliari, and the one against Lazio. It's the same thing. Like if these are the teams that show up, then I see a little draw because they're that bad, but have been that bad form wise. But yeah, like RS says Real El Clasico. राघव हमने रियल मैड्रिड का सिचुएशन डिस्कस किया उसमें फिर से आते हैं जस्ट ब्रीफली व्हेन वी क्लोज द स्ट्रीम वी विल कम बैक टू दैट.
तेरा क्या प्रेडिक्शन है वैसे मिलान अटलांटा?
0-0
मेरा 1-0 अटलांटा.
फिर अभिजय का मैं सेरिया बी का भी वो ले लूंगा एंड अभिजय आल्सो इज इंटर टू पार्मा's मैनेजर गॉट अ न्यू वन and some even Parma got a new one and somehow both upgraded. You can say that. Although Kivu left on very good terms here. Matlab there was a mutual thing. Like he made sure they survived and he left. The last match of the game week is Napoli Bologna, which is not a bad match because honestly, but not much to play for. for because Napoli
Napoli wins it.
only need 1 point to qualify. Yeah,
They win
Napoli.
this
Yeah, I
one.
think Napoli will win. Napoli को अगर आप yeah, Napoli need 1 point to qualify for the Champions League, and that's sorted then. So, आप लोग बताओ आपको क्या लगता है? Hashim said 2-2 for the previous one. Yeah, Tomori suspended. वो footmob का error है, तू lineup का दे मत. But yeah, Tomori very silly red card by the Ajay bhai. If you saw against Sassuolo, very silly
Of
red
course,
card.
of course, of
Um,
course.
but yeah, let me just quick comments later, and then let's just address. Let me just quickly show the Serie A B table because Avijay asked for it. We have Ehsan as well in the house. We have Italian women manager savings. So what? Women क्यों पढ़ा मैंने? Yeah, Italian manager saving Spurs from impending relegation thoughts. Deserbi Ajay, what do you think? Because I think he's going to unfortunately, yeah, save.
You never know because I feel that West Ham might show up against Arsenal, but if West Ham lose that game, then they are as good as relegated. I feel.
I think Arsenal will be too like now geared up after the lifeline, and I always stood by my prediction of Arsenal winning the. I think the see what people forget Ajay just quickly is that phases in the season matter. At times you just can't be perfect throughout a whole season, and people that bottle wala meme अरे Arsenal को troll. I know Arsenal को troll करना थोड़ा आसान हो जाता है. People jumped the gun. They forgot that Arsenal को तभी भी tie up करना था before they could tie up, and you saw what happened against Everton. So like
Yeah.
I still feel they will at least one trophy. मेरा prediction है Premier League more than the Champions League, but let's see. Just quickly अभिजय तेरे लिए मैं टेबल दिखा रहा हूँ. वेनेजिया ऑलरेडी क्वालिफाई करके प्रमोट कर गई है. सॉरी जैसे मैंने बोला फ्रोजिनो ने मोन्जा इज नॉट डन येट. But let's see. Again, I honestly, Ajay, I wish Palermo was one of these spots
Yeah,
because I
yeah,
know
yeah.
साला फ्रोजिनो ने अगले एक सीजन में वापस चला जाएगा नीचे. मोन्जा फिर भी शायद रह जाए, बट साला मेरे को पता है फ्रोजिनो ने प्रॉपर योयो क्लब है और अगले सीजन वापस चला जाएगा. साला पिप्पो इंजागी को सेरिया भी स्पेशलिस्ट होके इतने रिसोर्स, एंड अभी जब मैं तेरे को कभी स्क्वाड दिखाऊं पलेर्मो का बहुत अच्छा स्क्वाड है. स्टिल आई डोंट नो व्हाई दे आर नॉट इन द टॉप 2. लाइक वेनेजिया वर वेरी डोमिनेंट. अजय भाई उनका जो कोच है जियोवानी स्ट्रोपा, ही इज अ सेरिया बी स्पेशलिस्ट. वो हमेशा सेरिया
Yeah,
बी
yeah, of
जीतता है
course.
और सेरिया में आके हक देता है बेसिकली, just like Pippo Inzaghi. Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. And your Ashley Cole Abhijay, he's won one game so far. उसके बाद उसने कुछ किया नहीं है. So I told you like this made no sense, but okay, let's see. He's out of the playoffs. और ये playoffs अभिजय ये बहुत लंबे चलने वाले हैं. ठीक है, ये रेडी हो जा तू. Catanzaro, Avellino. अरे भाई Avellino
भाई,
like
Serie
हाँ?
B, Serie C, Serie D playoffs will all happen while the FIFA World Cup is happening because इतना लंबा जाता है वो.
या वो एक महीना मतलब ऑनेस्टली ना तुम अगर इसका प्रोसेस समझोगे ना, मैं एक्चुअली रील बिकॉज लॉट ऑफ फॉरेन क्रिएटर्स हैव ऑलरेडी मेड रील्स ऑन दिस, दैट्स व्हाई आई बट आई विल मेक इट एनीवेज. बहुत लंबा चलता है वैसा, ऐसा लग रहा है ना कि भाई एक ओलंपिक्स जितना लंबा चलता है ना वैसा लगता है ये बेसिकली. सो लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, आई विल टेक दोस गाइस. आई एम ग्लैड टू सी मेनी क्वेश्चंस कमिंग इन. आई विल टेक दोस वन बाय वन. एंड अजय भाई just one good news, Sampdoria have survived. Just good to see a club legend
I don't
came
like
in.
them. I want them to go down to Serie C.
Thank you to Sampdoria for 2010 always. Like I love them. But yeah, Attilio Lombardo उनका एक club legend है. He came in as the coach and he saved them. So they're not going to Serie C, which is, I'm glad to see. But अगर आप देखो अजय भाई, Spezia about to go to Serie C. Bari is also there. Pescara, despite getting Lorenzo Insigne, just imagine some iconic clubs are. Reggiana deserve it, by the way. You know why Reggiana deserve it. You know why they deserve it, right? So, like they have a obviously criminal in their team. So Spezia, this is the pure absence of Pio Esposito. He's not there. They've lost all their goals. One of the key reasons. And look where they are. And Ajay bhai, Bari to matlab De Laurentiis doesn't give a shit. Like unfortunately, so. Yeah, but yeah, that was quickly अजय जी तेरे लिए सेरिया भाई का. हम एक सेपरेट वीडियो बनाऊंगा कि कितना क्या है, जैसे हमने लास्ट सीजन किया था, क्या सीजन था. या अजय भाई also this, like it's insane. This is just one of the
That
best
is
stadiums.
corruption at the
Yeah.
peak,
Yeah.
Italian ID का. Just because परम, मैं गोरेगांव में रहता हूँ, मलाड में रहता हूँ, तो मैं अगर जीता तो मैं यहाँ पे एक 50,000 सीटर स्टेडियम बनाऊंगा because मैं जीता हूँ, मैं कुछ भी कर सकता हूँ. That's
No,
basically what happened.
but अजय भाई बारी भरता है वो. It's just like how
अरे
badly.
भाई तो भाई तो गोरेगांव मलाड में भी मैं भर सकता हूँ, मालवानी से लोगों को लेके मैं भरवा सकता हूँ, but that doesn't mean anything ना. Like come on man, I mean like really.
I think the stadium makes sense, but my problem is he doesn't give a shit about the club. वो
I am not
बोलते
blaming De Laurentiis. I'm blaming the ownership back then in the 90s, like
हाँ
Italia 90 के time पे.
मैं बोल रहा हूँ De
But
Laurentiis should be blamed now.
yeah. Now to ADL to bhai, usne, you know what he said? He said that if Malago becomes the president of FIGC, then Roma can
Yeah,
rest easy
Roma will
because
be
he's a
favored because
Romanista.
Malaga is a
अरे
Romanista.
भाई साहब मतलब
सी मैं
क्या
बोला ना De Laurentiis इज वो थोड़ा है वो अब क्या बोले कॉन्टे टू रियल मैड्रिड भाई मतलब तुम्हें फाइट्स बढ़ानी है उस ड्रेसिंग रूम में तो मजा आ जाएगा. राघव says what I mainly want to know is since you guys have been watching football since so long. Yes बहुत मतलब पहले
अरे
मेक देखता.
Raghav, you just have to go to a couple of seasons ago. Conte versus Lautaro boxing match. पर
बॉक्सिंग
अब
मैच वो पर वो तो एक मोमेंट
अरे
था
मतलब
भाई. I know.
I know.
No, but I'm giving you a worse example only from Inter. Icardi. Simple. Icardi.
Yeah,
जब
yeah.
Icardi और Spalletti जब हमारा कोच था राघव तब internally factions बन गए थे. You had Icardi FC which consisted of Politano, which consisted of all these Italian players basically. क्या कौन था वो एक सेड्रिक सोआरेस फॉर फक से एक आर्सेनल प्लेयर वो अभिजय तेरे को याद है जनवरी में साला लोन पे आया था वो उसके साइड पे था नेंगोला निकाडी के साइड पे था देन यू हैड द बाल्कन्स योर ब्रोजोविच
Brozovic.
पेरिसिच Handanovic, and they were siding with Spalletti. So you had
Yeah.
Spalletti FC versus Icardi FC. And while it didn't come to physical blows, they hated each other. These guys, I don't know. उसके वजह से points drop हो रहे थे. ऊपर से referees के decision से हमारा Champions League spot भी जा रहा था. फिर भी और and you had Spalletti calling Icardi out publicly saying कि ये ऐसा हरामी कैप्टन है ये वो Icardi was faking his injury and missing games intentionally. और इस टाइम पे Lautaro Martinez was a bench player by the way. Let me remind you. And look at the difference now. He's the captain and the third all-time top scorer of Inter. So, and this is just 2018. Ajay, just imagine this guy's become 6 years में सिर्फ. And people think the goals are less. The goals are a lot. It's a lot of goals. Like it's a lot of goals. So, point is coming back to this whole thing, Raghav. बहुत रोमा में भी सिर्फ इंटर नहीं तो रोमा में भी देख हो चुका है पास्ट में
बहुत
यूवेंटस में
बहुत
हो चुका है
बहुत भाई
लाजियो
बायर्न म्यूनिख में हुआ है with Trapattoni when he
या
came out and said like if I go back थोड़ा सा a little more in the past. यूनाइटेड में हुआ है but यूनाइटेड में एक ही गुंडा था वो था सर एलेक्स फर्ग्यूसन. तो तुम you can't bypass him. Like if you bypass him you're out of the team.
या
The French national team had a very famous mutiny in 2010.
अरे
like
फ्रांस
like
एंड म्यूटिनी
mutiny.
फ्रांस एंड म्यूटिनी को हैंड टू हैंड जैसे आपने बोला यूरोज में जो हुआ नॉट जस्ट दैट फ्रांस हैड अ कोच ये इसका वो हरामी कोच उसका नाम मैं हमेशा भूल जाता हूं
Raymond Dominic.
रेमंड आई फकिंग हेट हिम he's a उसके राघव go research on Raymond Dominic I won't go on a rant here but horrible person फ्रांस की तो बैंड बजा दी थी so we have seen all this we've seen there have been worse cases I would say राघव ये तो कुछ नहीं है मतलब obviously maybe आप अभी ये जो पढ़ रहे हो थोड़ा न्यू हो सकता है आपके लिए but just go research there have been horrible cases
I remember this guy Kieran Dyer and Lee Boyer.
yeah
In between when I watched it for the first time live, मैं बोला क्या चल क्या रहा है भाई दोनों टीममेट्स हैं मैच
yeah
चल रहा है suddenly like out of the blue they just came and started hitting each other and
एक
pulling each other.
बोलो ना बोलो
And it was weird because I'd never seen that happen. Two teammates in the middle of a game randomly fighting and the referee sending them both off. Very, very weird thing. Like when I was growing up back in the day, 2004, 2005 उस time पे हुआ था. But yeah, it was damn strange to see two teammates fighting.
national team
proper. ये तो training ground bus stops है ना, Shumeni and Valverde का तो अपने को दिख नहीं रहा है क्या हो रहा है.
it's blowing up here I mean there are different things
but we as viewers couldn't see but Lee Boyer and Kieran Dyer तो we saw live on the pitch in a game.
Yeah, I mean Icardi वो भी था ना साला वो सीजन में जो मैं सॉरी Icardi का बोला you even had right now a year ago Keita Balde और Wanda Nara वो भी Keita Balde वो हरामी था he admitted he slept with Wanda Nara in that season so वो भी चल रहा था so ये सब पागलपन Brozovic अरे हाँ fuck I remember there was in that season also Icardi and Wanda were like secretly negotiating with De Laurentiis and Brozovic happened to walk in the same hotel where they were and he essentially caught them negotiating and he reported it to Inter. So ये सब हो चुका है भाई ये सब कुछ नहीं honestly training ground bus stop is very straightforward. If imagine imagine a teammate of yours just happens to walk into the same hotel and catches you negotiating with another club.
Yeah. Sabunli has brought back some wild memories of Pablo Daniel Osvaldo and Lamela getting into a bus stop.
Yeah.
And this was essentially because Param, Lamela was outscoring Osvaldo under Zenit Zimen, where Lamela
Hmm.
scored 15 goals, right?
Yeah.
And the ego came from there कि भाई तू कल का बच्चा है कहाँ से तू आया है and
Hmm.
you're not even like the number
Yeah.
9 and yet you're outscoring me, just the ego issues. Osvaldo is a troubled guy. I like, obviously, in hindsight now,
Yeah.
I don't know what was going through his mind, but yeah, this was also quite hilarious, like, suddenly out of nowhere, whatever was happening on the pitch, off the
Yeah.
pitch, you have the tabla. So
Hmm.
yeah.
या आई एग्री एंड या आई मीन लॉट लॉट ऑफ मेमोरीज भी वेंट डाउन. ये मुझे हमेशा इस ये सब चीजों पे ना अलग वीडियो बनना पड़ता है बिकॉज दिस फाइट्स आर सो एंटरटेनिंग. बहुत कुछ हो चुका है. गुड क्वेश्चन राघव. Roma can make Inter season more memorable one by qualifying for top four instead of Juve. Nishan is an Interista. Palermo या फंबल मतलब यार उनका स्क्वाड हमें उनके पास पैसा होता है यार सेरिया बी के लिए. लाइक it's annoying at this point that they don't make it, and honestly a cultured club. I want to see them back even if they're owned by City Group, but Serie A club, Italian clubs need that kind of ownership. I really hope they make it through playoffs यार. देख यार, it was never a good fit RS. Like अभी भी मैं जज नहीं करना चाहता एकदम से. You have to give him next season also. But the guy has never coached at senior level. एकदम से Serie A B में आ रहा है. इतना आसान नहीं होता है Serie A B. Like it's a tough thing to navigate.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's leaving. He's leaving Ravindra. Dybala जा रहा है. वो कहाँ जा रहा है? That's a whole different story. MLS, Boca Juniors, don't know. But he's leaving.
So there is
Venezia
a
लगा था.
rumor that he wants to take a pay cut, but I don't think so. Roma going to give him
नहीं है.
a
मेरे
pay
को
cut.
I think it's time. Ajay, I think it's time to cut
Hundred
ties. I
percent,
think
100%.
because Dybala is not the same anymore. वो गया वो romanticism. It's over. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he's not the same.
And
And yeah,
especially when
Venezia.
Roma linked to Ale Bajovic, how do you
Yeah,
pronounce his
Ale
name? The most
Begovic. Ale
iconic
Begovic. Ale
Ale
Begovic.
Bajovic. Then
We
why
are
not?
Napoli and us are also linked, but yeah, I mean, if you can just do us a favor and let us have him.
No, no, no. Already that snake was
I,
having
I,
dinner.
I have a
Actually,
good offer
Vegas
for
and the
you.
snake.
I have a good
No, no,
offer
no.
for you.
I have a
Fratesi.
better offer for you. Brian Cristante. You
नहीं
take
नहीं
Brian Cristante.
Fratesi. But yeah, all that aside, yeah, Drake saved them. That's true. That's true. Drake that did save them, which is also they are getting a new stadium. So जो lake उनका जो lake के बाजू में lake
Yeah,
बोल रहा
yeah.
हूँ उसकी जो stadium है, because obviously वो eventually sustainable नहीं है. They are going to get a new stadium that is sorted, and I really hope they survive because again, Venezia को ना लोग सिर्फ फैशन के बारे. It's not a bad club. Again, Venezia has a lot of history in terms of Italian football. They used to be the early winners of the Coppa Italia back when Italian football had just started. So I really hope they
Much,
survive
much
and
better,
stay.
much better than Como, by the way.
Yeah, I
If
would.
I,
I mean, yeah. So it's a decent team, and look, I hope they survive. Awesome to think he did that. Bari with sorry, I took that. De Laurentiis is a wannabe Berlusconi. Hashim says congrats to Param Bhai for the title. I've been following Inter for the last two seasons, which watch other Serie A games here and there. You've been no, I'm glad you. Thank you first of all, and I'm just glad to see this comment that you're watching Serie A even in such tough times. Like the zone ka wo faltu ka subscription, Italy not being in the World Cup. I like to see that you're actually following and watching teams and keep it up. I know Italian football is not doing great, but जो भी आप देख सकते हो और आप जितने भी लोग को मोटिवेट कर सकते हो इटालियन फुटबॉल देखने में प्लीज करते रहो. आई एम श्योर इटालियन फुटबॉल विल बाउंस बैक टू एन एक्सटेंट. एंड या वर्ल्ड कप का तो बाद में देख लेंगे, बट एटलीस्ट प्लीज कीप वाचिंग. We'll wrap up this stream in the next 5 minutes or so. He had a fight with Lacazette as well, correct?
I
Oswald,
remember even Doni and Christian Panucci in one of the
yeah,
seasons, getting into a fight on the pitch again, like while a game, like in an argument, not in like a fist fight,
yeah,
but yeah, I mean with Real Madrid, though, I think it's just everything is like overblown with Real Madrid, Barca. It's just that there's so much of spotlight, on those clubs,
yeah.
though.
नहीं नहीं, आई एग्री. आई मीन लुक है सीरियस, बट अगेन लेट्स सी. लाइक और डिटेल्स के लिए रुकना पड़ेगा बिकॉज ऐसा सिचुएशन है जब कोई रेफरेंस पॉइंट नहीं है ना. कोच को भी रिस्पेक्ट नहीं करते. उधर एक डिक्टेटर बैठा है, जो ये लोग डिक्टेटर आजकल बुलाते हैं एम्बापे को, वो भी चल रहा है. अलग अलग चल रहा है. दिस इज अ साइन टू फॉर निको पास. डोंट स्टे, कम बैक टू इटली. और या बट ऑल दैट असाइड, जस्ट एनी लाइक गाइस, अगर कोई फाइनल कमेंट्स तो फटाफट लाओ. देन वील जस्ट रैप द स्ट्रीम थोड़ा अर्ली टुडे. चालू भी लेट किया, एंड वील try to do streams regularly on Thursday to get more eyeballs as well, because हम लोग पहले Thursday को ही करते थे. So please keep supporting यार. Please like करो, stream को share भी करो, और final कोई comments है तो लाओ, and then we'll close this. Ajay, anything else you want to say? Any other briefly topic you just want to quickly address which I may have missed? Maybe thumbnail में मैंने, अगर आपने देखा है, जियोवानी मलागा और पावलो माल्डिनी है. Why is that? Because news आ रही है कि जियोवानी मलागा जो है could end up being the next FIGC president, and he might get Maldini to work with him. अभी तक फाइनल नहीं है, He has the backing of the Serie A, Ajay bhai. He has the backing of the Players Association. He's the backing of the Refereeing Association. Now he's apparently today the news came in that Serie B and Serie B C are also ready to get on board. His competitor is the guy who basically runs or essentially oversees all the lower leagues, which is Abete, and he's a horrible.
Yeah,
He's done a horrible job in the past. So the hope is that Malago gets the job because he's a he's a seasoned veteran, and teams are backing him. So any 2 cents on that you want to say?
I'll just say go for Malago. Whatever
Huh?
De Laurentiis says, I think Malago with Maldini
Huh.
is the right way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll be doing a full fledged video on this, जैसे हमने बार बार बोला है. जैसे ही सीजन खत्म होगा हम प्रॉपर एक ब्रेक डाउन करेंगे. व्हाट वेंट रॉन्ग, व्हाट आर द नेक्स्ट स्टेप्स, क्या हो रहा है इस नेक्स्ट स्टेप्स के लिए. आई नो एक ये ऑब्वियसली वो रेफरिंग का भी सिचुएशन चल रहा है, which why we are not addressing it right now, because people don't understand what exactly is going on, right Ajay? Because people just see wrong headlines and they comment on it.
Let me just play the air violin.
And there's a lot to unpack over there. And every day Ajay, if you've been seeing the news, there is a new development. इस referee को बुलाया, इस referee को बुलाया to talk about it. So that's why it's not the right time to cover it. Once there are more details, which there should be soon, we'll probably cover it at the end of the season. Last
Yeah.
few comments I'm seeing, I'll take those and close the stream. Man, if Inter can afford Nico Pass, then we can too. भाई हर चीज वो प्रीमियर लीग नहीं जाना चाहिए. Like needs to save his career here. Can't be ruining it.
I
Bordalas
know.
is Bordalas is now being linked to Espanyol because Monkey Ajeva is going to be the new
Yeah,
director
yeah.
of Espanyol.
RIP Espanol.
Yeah, it's a weird combination, but Bordalas here, he's a fantastic coach. I love how he's irritated so many people. Like I just love how he's got everybody on the edge with his style of play. Like मेरे को यही पसंद है. I really wish Bordalas he reaches a UCL final and does this shit and pisses off some people. Like मजा आ जाएगा मेरे को. Final top four. So obviously Inter तो locked है. Napoli second में बोलूंगा. इसके बाद मैं अजय का भाई का भी लेता हूँ. I'll go Milan third and UA fourth. क्या बोलते हो अजय भाई?
I'll go UA third, Milan fourth.
And Napoli obviously second. Fair.
And Napoli
Uh,
second, yeah.
yeah, we'll do that, Hashim. Ajay rank these Roma nines from 1 to 4. Dzeko, Borriello, Osvaldo Vucinic.
I love Dzeko. I think Dzeko has to be one. I'll go for Osvaldo 2 because Osvaldo is more of a number 9 than Vucinic was. Vucinic obviously, comes wide left and then, he can play through middle as well. So Vucinic goes 3 and Marco Borriello, lovely man. And he was in it, at a very, very difficult time for Roma. Scored some clutch goals in the Champions League. Param, 2-0 down. They look Bayern Munich came back to win 3-2. Borriello was there. But yeah, Borriello 4.
Fair. Very quickly, Ajay, if you just had to maybe sum it up in maybe a line or two, just quickly. अभी तक खत्म नहीं हुआ वैसे हसीम. वो पहले चैंपियंस लीग आएंगे नहीं, उस पर भी बहुत ओपिनियन डिपेंड करेगा. Just very quickly है so far.
Dick, I feel that the management has set a clear precedent and, they've made very clear who they're backing, which is Gasperini. And I think in terms of a sporting sense, it makes sense. Emotionally, obviously, we love Ranieri, Romanisti. We love him. We are forever in debt, for his contributions as a Roma fan. Then of course as a player and then as a coach and now, even behind the scenes. But I think जो एक president set किया कि भाई हर season coach को change करके कोई फायदा नहीं है. इस coach को हम, this coach has achieved something over the last 9 years or so. Let's back the coach and give him that keys that he needs to build and achieve the objective. So I think इस तरीके से ये transition season है because Gasperini has just taken over. So all in all, even if we make it to the Europa League, I think 5th, it won't be a bad season per se. It won't be like a great season, but something to build upon for next season, in my opinion.
Fair. नेक्स्ट सीजन का हसीम बहुत टाइम में थोड़ा बाद में बात करेंगे. क्रिस्टियानो इज एक तो यार मेरे को रेडिट बोल रहा हूँ, डिस्कॉर्ड देखने का टाइम नहीं मिला है मेरे को. वीकेंड दे दे ले, मैं इस पे आके फिर से ना एक बार बैठता हूँ तेरे साथ. बट या अभिजय इज नॉट बीटिंग द इंटर फैन एलिगेशंस. आई ऑलवेज न्यू इज एन इंटरिस्टा. मतलब आई नो हेलास इज लाइक हिज सेकंड क्लब. सो Como and Roma is what Abhijay is saying. Wow. Arun is just in time. Campioni d'Italia. Of course, number 21 is in the house. Time to celebrate. And funnily enough, Ajay, let me remind, since Abhijay is still here, the Scudetto is always given in the last home game to the winning team. And our last home game is against Hellas Verona, which is so fitting that Hellas got relegated and Abhijay is a Hellas fan. So Abhijay Krishanu actually will be celebrating the Scudetto against his favorite Hellas Verona as he's watching it. So that's going to be quite funny. No worries, Kabir. We just about to close the stream because we started late, so we don't want to drag too much. Thank you guys for joining, and please do keep tuning in, like the stream. Ajay, anything else you want to say? Anything just you want to plug in or anything?
I just recorded a podcast with Adidev. वो आ जाएगा. We've discussed in depth about Serie A, so much so that I absolutely forgot Malago's name. मैंने बोला कि there are two guys competing. One is a dinosaur, and I don't want him. Uh, but apart from that, I've tried to make sense of whatever has
Hmm.
been happening in the league. So yeah, वो जब आएगा तो मैं लिंक अपन शेयर करेंगे अपने कैचो कम्युनिटी में.
Yeah, of
एंड
course.
अगर कोई नया है जो ये स्ट्रीम देख रहा है या जो ये वीडियो देख रहा है नॉट इन द लाइव फॉर्म, तो प्लीज लाइक शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब एंड जॉइन आवर व्हाट्सएप कम्युनिटी बिकॉज आई थिंक वहां पे वी आर बिल्डिंग दिस very very active community where we speak about
Yeah.
football across Serie A and of course across the other leagues as well, including Indian football. And of course, Param and I were there last
And
last to last
yeah,
yeah 2 days ago, yeah, at
yeah,
the Mumbai Football Arena for Mumbai City's last home game. So we are active, always there to have a chat, have a coffee, and discuss about culture.
या वेल सेड वेल सेड. मुंबई सिटी के ऑफिशियल पोस्ट में जाके देखो, उन्होंने हमारा पिक्चर डाला है, सो
Of
दैट्स देयर, आई
course,
मीन एटलीस्ट. एंड नहीं यार, आई मीन जस्ट कीप लाइकिंग द स्ट्रीम, आई मीन एनी स्ट्रीम प्लीज शेयर. एंड कंटेंट तो आता रह रहा है, बहुत कंटेंट ऑलरेडी रिकॉर्डेड है, जैसे आप देख रहे हो रील्स. विल बी डूइंग मोर वीडियोस, दीस टॉपिकल वीडियोस, जैसे हमने कोमो पे रिसेंटली किया था, आपने देखा था कोमो पे, लाइक
yeah,
व्हाट डू यू थिंक द प्रोजेक्ट. सो देयर इज वन मोर कमिंग अप. We'll do these shorter videos where we talk about like smaller issues, try about all the clubs here and there, or whatever topic we think is right. And until then, you guys keep supporting, and there's more to come, of course. And of course, yeah, I think Serie A is on Friday only, na, Jab, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it starts on Friday. So अगर आप देख सकते हो तो
yeah.
definitely uh, देख लेना. And what is he saying? Indian football should not come in the same sentence at this point. वो तो अलग ही, वो टॉपिक तो पूरा
Chennai,
अपने को पता
scars
है.
of scars of Chennai City FC.
नहीं, I mean we know
Can't
it's a
can't
mess.
blame him. Can't blame him. Full corruption here. What he's saying
Yeah.
is correct.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, thank you guys for
Chalo.
joining in. We'll see you guys soon. Please do like,
Ciao,
share,
ciao.
subscribe. Please do follow Ajay Bhai's channel. Please
Absolute,
do follow
absolute
cricket.
Sinamalin.
Yeah, Malin. But yeah, please do subscribe to Cricket Church if you're a cricket fan. And we'll see you guys soon with more content. Ciao, ciao. And Campioni d'Italia, of course, number 21.